Welcome back. This go round, we're going to take a look at a fighter for the Neo Geo that is called Rage of the Dragons, which is the unofficial sequel to Double Dragon on the Neo Geo. Now, they both may share certain similarities in maybe names and things of that nature, but they vary in gameplay style and art style, whereas the Neo Geo Double Dragon licensed game had kind of like more of a comic book type of anime type of look, and which was based off the actual shitty movie, but the game is actually pretty halfway decent. This game is completely different graphics, more on the Street Fighter, King of Fighter type of look, very colorful graphics and all. Now, the gameplay wise is this gameplay focuses more on trying to be a hybrid of a 3D game with kind of like a dial-up type of combo system, and kind of sort of like Kazoo Encounter in the sense of the tag out feature. So you have a choice between two characters and you tag in and out between both of them, which can be utilized, you know, for combinations and things of that nature. Or it's kind of like a last ditch type move. But yeah, and the gameplay, well, what do you call that? The storyline is kind of like the, you know, the Shadow Master is playing to rule the world, and these contestants get together and try to fucking beat them, basically. And a lot of these characters actually show up in a later game called Matra Melee. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, the button layout is very similar to kind of like King of Fighters or Fatal Fury. You have a dodge attack. You have, you can tag in and out. I believe C and D, you can actually do your little dial up a combo type of dealie. And, yeah. And that's really about it. So let's go. Alright, I'm going to pick the main protagonist anyway. What the hell? Because everybody's pretty much familiar with them. Now, the characters themselves actually look pretty good. They animate pretty well. The only problem, though, is when it comes to control and doing combinations, it feels that the controls are a bit stiff and should have had a bit more frames of animation. Plus, the overall feeling, just the hits, just feel weird at times. I'm not saying it's necessarily bad, but it just feels awkward for a little bit. But it's something you kind of get used to once you play the game, you know, for a while. That was that kind of, I call it the dial-up a combo or matrix type of combination, which adds to the gameplay, but it really doesn't. I think it's kind of like a cheap feature, to be honest with you. And most of the control-wise is very much like Street Fighter. You know, basic similar Street Fighter, or, you know, Fatal Fury series or King of Fighter series with the ridiculous controls of trying to get the super moves out and all. And yeah, now, like I said, the characters themselves actually look pretty decent. Where the graphics kind of suffer a bit are in the backgrounds. While you have some backgrounds that are pretty lively, here's your tagging out. That's your dodging attack, which is very similar to King of Fighters. The thing is that the backgrounds, some of them are very lively and colorful, whereas some of them are very bare, static. Like this background here is pretty bare. There's really nothing going on. So there's an inconsistency in design of the levels. So, which kind of sucks in that sense. Now, the music itself, I kind of like. I kind of like Noise Factory's style of music. I think it's pretty interesting, and it's, you know, very, you know, bass heavy, a lot of vocal tones and things of that nature. So, I kind of dig the music a lot. But, like I said, like you'll see this background right here, and this background is pretty much animated. And you have a couple others like that. Now, what's cool is that you do face kind of like, I call him like the fake, what does he call that? A Bobo, or now in here they call him, I think they call him a Budo or some shit like that, where he's like, basically a ginormous version of the, the Double Dragon character with, the steroid looking muscle type dude, which is actually pretty cool. And he's pretty, you gotta stay on top of him in order to defeat him. He's not too bad, but the last boss himself is absolutely fucking difficult. I mean, you need to be like half a god to defeat him because he's just that difficult. Now, the one thing I don't like about the game is that the ridiculous difficulty in here, which is actually associated with a lot of SNK games anyway. But here, the computer just cheats the shit out of it. And which can kind of make the game a little bit unfun because, they keep spamming the same damn moves after a while. And some of the moves themselves are very unoriginal looking because they look like moves that you'd see in other fighting games. So they lack a little bit of originality in that sense. Now, I might be sounding harsh on a couple things here, but the thing is that, considering what games were, only literally maybe 2-3 years prior to this game, I do expect a little bit more. So, because you had games, let's say, like Garou, now true, they're not made by SNK per se, but you'd imagine they would take it a little bit of a step further, seeing that what the system could actually do, just a few years prior. That's kind of my complaint on it. So, I know you can take it for what it is, or, some people do enjoy this game. They really do. Now, do I recommend it? Yes and no. If you are a hardcore fighting game fan, you've not played this game, sure, check this shit out. I think you'll dig it, but I don't think it's one of those games that you'll really fall in love with. I think it's one of the games you'll play for a while, and then I think you'll get kind of bored at. That's the way I kind of feel about it. Now, for the casual person, if you want to check it out, like on MAME, whatever you got to do, then yeah, definitely check it out. It might appeal to you because it does have, that Double Dragon flair, or Double Dragon-ish type of, attitude. But it's really only, in a sense, geared towards really the hardcore, and not many people do know about this game. Like I said, while I do think it's a decent game, I just don't think it just adds anything to the genre, considering you're at 2002 when this came out. So, that's kind of where I stand as far as that. Okay, I'm going to just leave a little bit more gameplay, then I'm out this bitch. Take care.